What makes a person truly unforgettable? It's not how loud they speak, not how many followers they have. It's presence, depth, stillness. The Stoics believe that the most magnetic trait you could ever possess is inner strength. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that doesn't need to. There's a Stoic secret, a quiet power, that when practiced, makes you stand out in any room, even in silence. This isn't about impressing others. It's about becoming so grounded in your values, your mind, and your soul that people feel it the moment you walk in. Let's uncover the timeless Stoic qualities that will make you unforgettable, not by force, but by virtue. 1. Silent confidence. The most unforgettable people are not the loudest. They're not the ones constantly chasing attention, trying to prove their worth, or filling every silence with noise. They move differently. They carry themselves with a quiet certainty, a presence that doesn't demand, but draws you in. This is silent confidence. And it's built, not on ego, but on self-discipline, clarity, and inner peace. Epictetus said, "Self-respect and moral character are not loud." When you truly know who you are, you no longer need validation. You don't need to win every argument, show off your success, or outperform anyone. You understand that your value isn't based on how many people are watching. It's based on how closely your actions reflect your values. And that gives you a kind of power that doesn't fluctuate with praise or criticism. In a world full of people chasing approval, the one who moves quietly with certainty stands out. Their calm becomes a signal of something rare, someone who cannot be shaken, someone rooted. That's why silent confidence is unforgettable. Because in the storm of noise, the one who walks with stillness and direction is impossible to ignore. 2. Emotional mastery. To be unforgettable, you must master, not the world, but yourself. The Stoics understood that while we cannot control how others act, we can always control how we respond. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that's what emotional mastery is. Strength. Not the strength to dominate, but the strength to remain centered when others unravel. Most people are reactive. They're ruled by impulses, anger, fear, ego. They speak before thinking. They lash out when challenged. They carry emotional chaos like a storm waiting to be triggered. But the Stoic, the person of depth and discipline, responds differently. They don't suppress emotion. They understand it. They pause. They observe. They ask, is this response useful? Is it virtuous? Does it reflect who I want to be? That pause, that breath between reaction and response, is where wisdom lives. It's where your power grows. Because when you meet aggression with calm, disrespect with poise, and panic with presence, people notice. They feel safer around you. They trust you more. And long after the moment has passed, they remember not what was said, but how you handled it. That is emotional mastery. That is unforgettable. 3. Deep presence. Presence is a rare gift, and one of the most unforgettable. Most people are here, but not really. Their eyes dart, their minds wander, their hands fidget with devices. Their thoughts are caught in the past or racing towards some imagined future. But the Stoic, the person of depth and discipline, knows this moment is all we ever truly own. Epictetus reminded his students there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. And what lies within our will? Attention, focus, awareness. Deep presence is not loud. It doesn't interrupt or perform. It listens, it watches, it senses. When you speak to someone who's truly present, you feel it instantly. Because in a world of divided minds, to be fully seen is unforgettable. This kind of presence isn't just a gift to others, it's a gift to yourself. When you're truly present, you notice more. You react less. You move with clarity instead of confusion. And presence is a habit, something you cultivate through meditation, through silence, through doing one thing at a time with your full attention. Not perfectly, but intentionally. When you live in the now, not in the scroll, not in the stress, your very presence becomes a kind of peace. And people remember peace because they rarely feel it anywhere else.
Number 4. Integrity over image. In a world obsessed with image, the Stoic is obsessed with integrity. Seneca wrote, "A good character, when established, is not easily overthrown." That's because image fades. But who you are when no one is watching, that is the foundation of something lasting. Most people bend their morals when it's convenient. They speak one truth in public and live another in private. They seek applause, not alignment. But those who live with integrity, who choose honesty over popularity, who stand by their principles when it costs them something, they are rare. And that rarity leaves a mark. You don't need a spotlight when your conscience is clear. You don't need approval when your soul is aligned with what's right. Integrity isn't just about being good, it's about being whole, undivided, unified in thought, word, and deed. And it's not always glamorous. Sometimes integrity means walking away from a shortcut. Sometimes it means telling the truth that makes others uncomfortable. Sometimes it means choosing peace over winning. But the reward is this. You become someone others can count on, someone they trust instinctively, because they feel that what you say is real and how you act is rooted in principle. That's why integrity makes you unforgettable, because it's no longer about how you look, it's about who you are. And character, once felt, cannot be unseen. Number 5. Doing without boasting. The Stoics believe that true virtue doesn't need an audience. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, reminded himself, "When you've done well, and another has benefited, why, like a fool, do you look for a third thing besides? Credit for the good deed, or a favor in return?" We live in a world that documents everything. Every act of kindness is a post, every achievement is a headline, every effort broadcast. But the Stoic moves differently. They don't do good to be seen. They do it because it is right, because it is aligned with virtue, because it is part of their nature. And that's precisely what makes it unforgettable. There's something profoundly powerful about someone who gives, helps, contributes, and asks for nothing in return. They don't need praise because their reward is internal. Integrity, peace, and the silent strength of knowing they stayed true to their values. When others boast, the Stoic simply acts. And that humility, that refusal to shout, speaks louder than any words could. People may not notice right away, but they remember. Because in a world screaming for attention, quiet goodness echoes the longest. Number 6. The discipline to hold back. In a culture that rewards instant reaction, holding back is a rare strength. The Stoics didn't just train their minds, they trained their tongues. They understood that not every thought deserves to be said, and not every emotion deserves to lead the way. Seneca advised, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." That pause, that space between stimulus and response, is where self-mastery is born. Anyone can lash out. Anyone can interrupt. Anyone can post in anger, shout their opinion, or seek revenge. But the Stoic resists that urge, not because they are weak, but because they are strong enough to choose discipline over impulse. It's not about silence for silence sake. It's about choosing what's necessary, what's helpful, and what's virtuous, not just what's available in the heat of the moment. This kind of restraint doesn't go unnoticed. When others expect drama, and you bring clarity. When they seek conflict, and you bring stillness. You become unforgettable, not because you overpower, but because you choose not to react when you could. Discipline in speech, discipline in action. This is not weakness. This is command. And those who command themselves before they seek to influence the world are the ones the world quietly admires most.
7. Non-reactivity. The world around us is full of triggers, words, actions, events, designed or unintended to provoke us. Most people respond immediately, with defensiveness, anger, or hurt. They become prisoners of their own reactions, tossed about like a ship in a storm. But the Stoic understands a profound truth. It is not what happens to you, but how you respond that defines your character. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't be." Non-reactivity is not indifference or apathy. It is an active choice to maintain inner peace, to keep your mind clear and your heart steady despite external chaos. When you refuse to be swept away by every slight or insult, you become different. You show others a new way, a way of calm strength that is rare and powerful. This strength is memorable. It creates respect. It builds trust. People will notice you for your composure, for the grace with which you navigate difficulties. And in a world where so many burn out from constant reactivity, your quiet steadiness will make you truly unforgettable. 8. Depth of thought. Unforgettable people don't just speak, they think deeply before they do. The Stoics were relentless in their pursuit of self-awareness. Marcus Aurelius carried a journal where he examined his own mind daily, questioning his motives, his fears, his desires. This kind of reflection isn't about perfection, it's about honesty. It's about asking, who am I? What do I stand for? How can I improve? When your thoughts run deep, your words carry weight. When your actions arise from considered values, not impulse or vanity, people notice. This kind of depth is rare in a world full of noise and haste, but it's magnetic, because it speaks to something fundamental, a mind that is awake, aware, and growing. Cultivating depth means carving out moments for silence, for journaling, for questioning yourself. It means learning to listen to your inner voice amid the clamor of the outside world. And when you do, you become unforgettable, not because of what you say, but because of the wisdom behind your silence. 9. Purposeful living. Living with purpose is one of the most powerful ways to make your life and your presence unforgettable. Seneca wisely said, "If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable." Without direction, life becomes a series of distractions and reactions. But when your actions are anchored in clear purpose, every choice you make has meaning. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or public. It can be as simple as striving to be a better friend, a more compassionate colleague, or a patient listener. When you live purposefully, your actions align with your values, creating a consistent and authentic presence. Others sense this integrity and gravitate toward it. Purpose fuels resilience. It guides you through hardship without losing your way, and it turns ordinary days into meaningful journeys. So each morning, ask yourself, what is my purpose today? Let that question shape your steps, your words, your attitude. Because when you live with clear intention, you become someone others remember not for what you say, but for what you stand for. 10. Grace under pressure. In moments of crisis or stress, most people crumble or react impulsively. But the true Stoic, the unforgettable person, remains steady. Grace under pressure is a mark of profound inner strength. It is the ability to face adversity without losing composure, to act wisely instead of reacting emotionally. Marcus Aurelius taught himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When everything seems chaotic, your calm becomes a beacon. It reassures others, diffuses tension, and opens space for solutions. This isn't about perfection, it's about choice. Choosing to breathe deeply when others panic. Choosing to listen when others shout. Choosing to act with purpose when others react blindly. That calm grace makes people remember you, not because you were the loudest or the fastest, but because you were the rock in the storm. And that is the kind of presence that lasts a lifetime. The Stoic secret to being unforgettable isn't about flashy words or grand gestures. It's about building quiet strength from within, mastering yourself, living with purpose, and acting with integrity. When you embody these timeless virtues, your presence speaks louder than any speech. You become someone who inspires trust, commands respect, and leaves a lasting impact without saying a word. So start today. Choose one of these Stoic principles to practice, whether it's silent confidence, emotional mastery, or grace under pressure. Step by step, moment by moment, cultivate the kind of character that people won't forget. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Which Stoic trait will you commit to mastering first? Remember, true power lies in the calm within. Become unforgettable by becoming unshakable.